Well, hello people, I'm back again, and today I'm going to show you guys how to make base gravy, or we say Torka in Punjabi. And I'm going to show you some of the ingredients that we're going to use. You can see we've got onions over there. That's 2 medium onions, and all of these ingredients are enough for 2 medium onions. So that's just less than a teaspoon of ginger powder, garlic powder, and this is half a teaspoon of haldi or turmeric. That is half a teaspoon of jeera or cumin. That's 1 teaspoon of garam masala, and that is one teaspoon of red chili flakes, and then salt to your liking, but I've got a teaspoon and a bit right there. And I've got oil, a little bit of oil in the bottom. I use canola oil. It's on low heat, it's heating up, and to the oil we're going to add the jeera first, and we're going to cook this off a little bit, and then I'm going to go in with the onions. So I got my cumin in there, I got my onions in, I threw my salt in as well. The salt just helps the onions release all of the moisture. Give this a good mix up, a little stirry do, and also we just want to cook the onions until they become translucent. You don't want to burn them, so just every so often give them a stir, and we'll come back when the onions are nice and translucent. Shouldn't take too long, maybe another couple minutes. So this has been cooking for about 2 minutes, and if it kind of sticks to the bottom, to scrape it off, or what you can do is just add a little bit of water. That just helps get everything off the bottom. Just give it a mix, and the water actually helps to soften the onions as well, kind of by steaming it a little bit, so that's kind of a win-win, right? So we're gonna let this go for a little bit longer yet. It's not quite where we need it. So yeah, keep that going, probably another a minute maybe. Okay, so our onions are nice and translucent, and we're going to add the rest of our ingredients in. Our garlic, ginger, haldi, garam masala, chili flakes, all of it in, and we're going to give this a good mix. And I've turned my heat down to low now because you don't want to burn your spices. I had it on medium low before to cook the onions, and now it's on low. Like I said, you don't want to burn the spices into this, just so that everything gets incorporated well. I'm going to add a little bit of water. That just helps mix all the spices in good and proper, and if there's anything stuck to the bottom of the pan, it'll pull that off as well. And we're gonna cook this now, not for too long, a minute or so maybe, and then we're gonna add the final ingredient, well, not the final, but the essential ingredient that's going to turn this into the gravy, which are tomatoes. I'm using crushed tomatoes. You can use chopped as well. These are crushed tomatoes out of a can, and how much we're going to put in, that's probably like 1 cooking spoon, I guess. Shake that off. And again with this, we're gonna give it a good old mixy-do. And the good thing with this base gravy, this gravy is enough for 2.5 pounds of meat of your choice. And also with this, what you can do is you can cook this ahead of time and just stick it in the fridge, or you can freeze it, up to you. You could use some of it and then freeze some or stick some in the fridge. If you put it in the fridge, it'll probably last about 4 days, 5 days. If you freeze it, it'll last a lot longer, you know, 2-3 months or so, whatever. You can portion this out as well if you want, or you can just put this in a Ziploc bag, nice and flat, and stick it in the freezer, or you can use it in the fridge if you know you're gonna be using it soon. And so now we're basically gonna let this cook for a little bit. We just want to cook off the tomato taste. We don't want it tasting too tomatoey, so we'll let this go. Okay, so that's our gravy done. I'm going to turn the heat down, and it's kind of, like I said before, you can always add some water to it if you feel like that it's sticking to the bottom. Mine wasn't really, but I just want to get off all the stuff from the bottom. So just give it a good mix, and the heat is on low now. So this is pretty much done. This base gravy of ours is done, good to go. Now to this, I mean, you can taste it right now. Make sure that you got your seasoning right. If you need to add more salt or more chili, you can do so now. I know mine is spot on. And to this we're going to add some dried fenugreek leaves or kasuri methi, and just put it in your hand, and we're going to give it a good grind up. And that goes. And turn my heat off now, because I think this is done for me. And I'm just going to give this a good stir, get that kasuri methi incorporated in there good and proper. If you add more water to it, just make sure that your seasoning is correct, because obviously you're diluting it by adding more water in. So just check your seasoning, add. Don't forget, you can always add, but you can't take away, right? And then scrape the sides down, because we don't want it on the sides, we want it on the bottom of the pan. This gravy you can use for a vegetarian gravy, a vegetarian dish, non-vegetarian dish, and you can use it for other things as well, which I'll go over in future videos. And that is it. Our base gravy or torka is made. As far as the spices goes, I just added the bare essential spices that I use, but you can always add other spices to this as well. There's a whole bunch of other spices, which again we'll go over in another video. But that is it for today. Again, like, subscribe, hit that bell icon, comment, and share the video. And that's it. Until next time.